Thank you so much for joining us today in West Boylston on this gorgeous day. We couldn't have asked for a better day. I see a lot of familiar and unfamiliar faces here today. My name is Jennifer Warren Diamond. I'm the town administrator of West Boylston, and it's my distinct honor to welcome so many local, state officials, stakeholders to this groundbreaking ceremony today. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Fred Lasky, the Executive Director of the MWRA.
As a kid growing up, we used to watch the Jackie Gleason show. And this is very fitting for this day, how sweet it is. How sweet it is. Someone's my age, they know the show. I have a number of speakers, and I have a number of folks who showed up today, and I'd like to recognize them for the part they have played in this magnificent project. We have obviously Commissioner Riggio and the DFG staff. The advisory board the MWRA advisory board is represented today by Matt Romero. Matt, thank you for all your support, and he represents the 50 some odd communities who agreed to fund this project. So we're very grateful for their long view of the world, because this was an important project. The MWRA board of directors, Lou Traverna. He's also the town engineer of the city of Newton. Welcome, Lou. Thank you for your support. There you are. The Mass Rivers Alliance is represented here today. I thought. Oh, okay, she didn't come. Okay. The Water Supply Citizens Advisory Committee. Thank you. The American Rivers. Trout Unlimited and its Central Mass chapter. I know they're here. One of my early days here at the authority, we were going traipsing along the down by the Quabbin and here. So welcome. Your advocacy has really been paid dividends in this project. We appreciate it. The Nashua River Watershed Association. There you go. Thank you. Former Secretary Matt Beaton. There's Matt down the back, and he was very influential in the progress of this project moving forward. Commissioner Amadon, thank you, Ron, for all your hard work and advocacy. It paid real dividends. I'd just like to offer a few comments, and I'll be brief because we have a long speaking program, and I don't want you to have to listen to the same thing all over and over and over again. But you know, in public service, there are different things that you have the ability to be part of, and this is a project that I would call a legacy project. It's a legacy for all the people involved with it. To hang together over the years, it's been literally decades that this has been in the planning stages, the design planning, the procurement stage. There's just been so many people who have worked hard to get us here today. And I too, like many of you, am proud of the staff that made this all happen. The staff of the MWRA, many of them are here today. Their hard work, their dedication. You'll hear from John Gregoire about some of the details, but it's really been a great project and a great collaborative effort that advances the environmental movement here in Central Mass. So savor the moment, savor the day. It's just been a nice day, and I can only say thank you all for all the hard work. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce the Commissioner of DCR, Brian Riggio. Oh, here he comes. There's certain jobs, you're gonna hear two people who have the best jobs in all of state government. One of them is the Commissioner of DCR, and then there's the fish folks who have great pleasure in their jobs. But Brian has been a mayor. He's a great contributor and a great guy to work with, and I welcome him here today.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Fred, for that kind introduction. Congratulations on this legacy project. I am so happy to be here today with so many of our partners. You see the partnership between state agencies, between municipalities, between the legislature, and so appreciate this project, which exemplifies truly partnership. And I want to thank all of you for your collaboration on this project and on so many other projects that our agencies work on. A strong partnership between agencies among energy and environmental affairs is so critical to accomplishing our shared goals of protecting and preserving our natural resources. And that is for the benefit of not only humans, but our animals and everything non-human. I'm sure Commissioner O'Shea will talk a little bit about the impacts on wildlife, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the impacts on communities. At DCR, folks know that we are so committed to enhancing access to our beautiful spaces all across the Commonwealth, while also preserving and protecting our natural and recreational resources. And that's because we know how important access to outdoors and fresh air is for people's overall well-being. And this certainly extends to our watershed properties. Our watershed properties are important community resources that provide educational and recreational opportunities, as well as important clean water to families and residents all across the state. And thanks to the work of Fred and the MWRA and all of us here today, Massachusetts has some of the cleanest water in the country. And we're certainly committed to working with our partners at DCR to ensure that we can continue to provide this critical resource. And again, I want to appreciate Fred's work over his career and thank him as a former mayor, but also as a colleague now at EEA for the investments that the MWRA has been able to make in the water transfer system, and to be able to do those kinds of investments while keeping and preserving a beautiful landscape. Right here, we provide more than 3 million people with clean water. And the project that's underway, removal of the dam, will restore the area's natural ecology, including the river's natural flow and the surrounding wetlands. It will also make an important it will make an important investment in the public safety of folks around here by eliminating any potential risks to public safety by dam deterioration. And when this project is completed, I'll put my recreation hat on and talk about the fact that there will be a new ADA compliant pathway and important new opportunities for fishing and recreational activities along the water. And so we at DCR are so excited to see these improvements, to be part of this important partnership, and look forward to seeing generations of people enjoy this spot. And it is now my distinct pleasure to welcome up somebody who's been a friend and a tremendous colleague, Department of Fish and Game Commissioner Tom O'Shea. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. You can't ask for a better day than this, and I certainly can't ask for better partners. Commissioner Rigo and DCR and Department of Fish and Game. As Commissioner, I have to say it's just been a great collaboration, and really excited about seeing these kind of projects through. This is really one of those milestones to celebrate. At various dam events that I've been invited to, I've begun to liken these projects to endurance sports, whether it's like a triathlon or like a relay event, because you got to be in this for the long haul. And you can't do it alone, and you have to take the baton sometimes from somebody else who hands it off to you, and you keep these projects going. And that's what it takes: real champions, real commitment, real endurance, and it gets us to these days like this where we're going to see this through. And so I just want to thank all the partners here today, certainly DCR, MWRA, and our state legislators. I know we have Representative O'Day here, local leaders, West Boylston Town Administrator Jennifer Warren Diamond, and everybody here really is supporting not only all the things like public access and recreational opportunities, and resilience to future floods and dam failure. But really, this is also about our biodiversity. It's about our fish passage. It's about the future wildlife opportunities for the next generation. And we can't do this without some of our staff here at the department who are real experts in this, like our Division of Ecological Restoration, Division of Fisheries and Wildlife. And I just want to see a show of hands for our staff from the department. And they just do great work, and I'd like to recognize, thank you for that, and acknowledge our DER Director, Beth Lambert, who will be speaking later on. Beth will tell you, and as our DER staff will tell you, there's about 3,000 dams in the state. Many have outlived their life and useful life. And a lot of these dams are causing problems by interrupting wildlife and fish passage, degrading water quality, and you've heard about potential public safety hazards from increased precipitation, weather extremes. Now is the time where we can really make a difference, because I think we've got public attention around the need to address our dams, and this is great. Quinapoxet Dam has been owned by MWRA and has blocked fish passage for 100 years. So this is a real big milestone. You think about how many generations haven't been able to see those fish go all the way upstream. And we, through this project, since 2013, I think when it became a priority project with DER and MWRA, are now going to open up about 35 miles. It's just fantastic. And I have to say, for me, this is my backyard. I live in Holden. I've also lived in Worcester. And many of us come to this river to fish or just to recreate. And this is just going to be amazing to see the possibilities of opening up a dam and the possibility for salmon and trout and other species to move up and down this river. This is really part of a priority for the Healy-Driscoll administration. I know that Governor Healy worked with our department to sign an executive order in September to develop biodiversity goals for the Commonwealth out to 2050. And these kinds of projects will help to advance our nation-leading biodiversity work. So this is really a wonderful opportunity. Great to attend this groundbreaking to celebrate this opportunity, not just for us here today, but really the next generations that will walk out here and hopefully we'll see salmon moving up and down the river like never before. Think about that. And that's something that makes me proud that I'm going to share with my son, and I think we can all share with our children, the next generation. I just want to, again, congratulate everybody. This is just a great opportunity, and I really thank you for inviting me to celebrate today. I know that Commissioner Amidon, my predecessor, was really supportive of this all along, and we hand the baton off, and we just keep running. So really appreciate it, and with that, I'd like to invite Representative O'Day to come up and give remarks, and really appreciate his support as well, and thank you, everyone.
Good morning. How about those Celtics? Let's go! What a wonderful day. I was looking through some emails a week or so ago, trying to look at some of my accomplishments. And I thought I had already accomplished this, but I know this has been a long time coming, and I'm very, very appreciative of all of those that have been involved over the last number of years who have managed to keep their eye on the prize. And certainly I'm grateful to the current administration for their continuing to work on this. And it's really great to see the former secretary here this morning, who I know when he was in the secretariat, I should say, that this was an important piece of the work that he was involved with. So it looks like the fruits of your efforts are coming to fruition, Mr. Secretary. So, I live here in town. I represent the 14th Worcester District, which certainly includes West Boylston, the Wachusett Reservoir, parts of the city of Worcester. And, we are so pleased and receptive to what we managed to have here with so many beautiful sites, and that our town is surrounded 60% worth by DCR and watershed properties. And we all need to live and work and be partners together, and it's been a pretty good relationship, so I'm happy about that, obviously. But this is something that our community will take full advantage of. The only thing that I will hasten a little bit about is how smooth as glass River Road is out there. So if you're going to be coming up here, we need to make sure that we have ways in and out to enjoy what we're going to be completing here. So thank you all for coming. Looking forward to the day that we actually flow through here and looking for the salmon to come upstream. This sounds great. And thank you to the MWRA, DCR, Fish Department, Conservation Department, and all those involved. So thanks very much. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Beth Lambert, and I'm the Director of the Division of Ecological Restoration. We're part of the Department of Fish and Game. Thank you, Commissioner O'Shea, for those inspiring remarks earlier. So DER's mission is to restore and protect rivers, wetlands, and watersheds for the benefit of people and the environment. We have a bunch of staff here today. Can you all raise your hands, please? And we're one of the partners on this project. Joe, can you raise your hand, please? Joe is our point person working with MWRA to get this dam removed. So our division has 60 river and wetland restoration projects underway across the state. 30 of those are dam removals like this. Interest in dam removal is growing rapidly. I know right now of 100 dam owners that are ready to remove their dams if they had a little bit of funding and a little bit of technical assistance. Dam owners want to remove dams, but they lack the knowledge, they lack the funding, and they lack the staff time, essentially. However, MWRA brings extensive knowledge to this project. And what I really want to do here today is applaud MWRA for leading by example. You see, the easy thing to do with a dam is to let it sit here. And that's because removing a dam takes time, it takes money, it takes a lot of technical work. In this case, it took somewhere around 5 or more years of engineering studies. This dam is located in an extremely sensitive location just at the outlet of the aqueduct there and just upstream from a drinking water reservoir. Planning a dam removal here is a very challenging thing to do. The easy thing would be not to do the dam removal and just to let it sit. MWRA, however, stepped forward and is truly leading by example with this project. They made their way through with some technical assistance from us and some funding here and there, the challenging studies, the complex regulatory system. I don't know if you know this, but it can take anywhere from 8 or more permits and authorities to remove a dam to bring us here today. And that is because MWRA had this clear-eyed vision, first of all, that they are in the business of providing clean water to millions of people, not in the business of maintaining aging infrastructure. Second, they saw that removing the dam would give this incredible opportunity to restore habitat and migratory areas for landlocked salmon. Third, MWRA saw the opportunity to provide access to nature for all people at the fishing platform that will be built as part of this project. So going forward, whether you're someone who uses a wheelchair, someone who uses a walker, someone who uses your feet, someone who's pushing a baby carriage, all people of all ages will be able to come here and experience nature and fishing. And fourth, MWRA saw that they could do all this while also creating jobs. I don't know if you know this, but every $1 million spent on a dam removal project creates or supports more than 13 full-time jobs, and also removing a safety hazard. So a project like this takes a long time, it can be expensive, but the amazing thing about it is that one investment brings all of those benefits, and those benefits come in perpetuity. So I'd like to thank MWRA for leading by example and showing the rest of the state that this can be done, and this is how you do it. I'm going to close with a quote from John Gregoire, who's going to be following me speaking. And what he said to me last week was, "It's time for this dam to go." Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you to the dignitaries and officials that are here. and also to the local residents, some of whom I've spoken to this morning, who've been looking at this dam for a long time and have different feelings about it. So we need to recognize that as well. So I'll be brief. I want to talk about the history of the dam a little bit and then go into some of the rationale as to why we're taking it down. So this dam was constructed as part of the reservoir back in the late 1890s up to 1905. It's a very unique dam. This dam was designed to basically control sediment from getting into the reservoir. Back in the day, they knew that cloudy water wasn't good to drink, but they didn't have a lot of ways of testing it. So they had this very rudimentary method of taking the sediment out. Essentially, this dam right here is built at the crest of the original riverbed. There's very little impoundment here. Most dams have an impoundment behind them. So the crest of the dam here is the original riverbed. What they did was excavate downstream and over widen the whole channel down to the three-arch bridge. And the whole theory being that the backed up reservoir water in this channel would drop the sediment load. So that was very rudimentary treatment. So what has changed is that we no longer operate that reservoir because of this facility right here. We no longer operate Wachusett that way. The Quabbin water comes from 25 miles west of here, and it rises up from 200 feet down through shaft 1, through a hydroturbine, and generates clean hydropower right here. What you see coming out of here, if you step over by the fence, is 300 million gallons a day of cold, clean Quabbin water entering the Quinapoxet River. So what's changed from when this reservoir was designed to today? First of all, modern reservoir operations. As I said, they operated the reservoir much differently in 1905 than we do today. Back then, the designers decided they wanted to keep that reservoir as full as possible. So typically, there would be 5 more feet of water in this channel and on that spillway than there is today. We have to adhere to modern regulations, EPA, state DEP, and Office of Dam Safety in how we operate this reservoir. We now have an operating band, and we have a number of other techniques that we measure water quality. So the second issue here is modern water treatment and water quality monitoring. I think folks have seen the yellow things floating out in the reservoir. Those are water quality monitoring buoys. We measure the water quality 24/7, 365, and we also have a number of online instrumentation here in this facility, also down at the Route 12 Causeway, that little stone shack that you may have seen, and at Cosgrove Intake, so we can test the reservoir throughout as the Quabbin water is coming through. They didn't have this back in 1905. They basically had some very rudimentary ways of testing for turbidity. The third issue for the rationale is the dam condition. This dam is in tough shape. It needs a lot of work. It requires a number of studies to meet dam safety compliance regulations. It needs about $500,000 worth of repairs. You can't see it now, but there's a number of things: offset stones, spillway aprons offset, leakage through the bedrock contact of the stones, a number of things. So that's a lot of an investment that we just don't see as justified for an obsolete dam. Fourth, and certainly not last, is the environmental restoration. This is a major environmental driver, and that's to return the river to its natural riverine environment. And that also helps to provide the fish passes that was discussed, the landlocked salmon that have been stuck in here since 1905, and they want to get upstream. The other piece of this is resiliency to climate change. This is a big plug in the river, and with the rainfalls that we've been seeing, we've all noticed it, the 3-4 inch rains, 11 inches of rain last July. We're seeing higher flows in the river, and there's a concern that this aging dam could fail with high flood flows. We're removing that hazard by taking this dam down. So that's better resiliency to climate change. A restored river channel can handle the flows much better. So that's just a brief overview. I'm happy to give you more detail as we're mingling around later. And next I'd like to introduce Jim Murak from our design team, and just a little bit about SLR. They are the experts in the field of dam removal. They have done a number of dam removals in New England, Massachusetts especially, but also for the New York DEP, New York City's water supply in upstate New York. They know the criticality of this project to our reservoir, the concern over monitoring turbidity and not having any issues with our filtration waiver that we have. So with that, I'd like to bring up Jim Murak from SLR right over here, and he can introduce his team. And that'll be followed by our contractor, Luciano's Excavation. Thank you.
Good morning. And happy belated Father's Day to those that applies to. As a new father myself, I'm really excited about this project in particular and others like it. I have to echo the sentiment that's been said a number of times now, but this is how we leave the world a better place for the future generations. We're looking at it right now. It's been a process. We all know it's been since I think 2017 that we've been working with our partners at MWRA, DER, DCR. My name is Jim Murak. I'm with SLR Consulting, as John just mentioned, and my team, Andy Green, Taylor Delvecchio, and Gabby Warlock are here today. Of engineers, we have engineers, scientists, and landscape architects who've been hard at work on this project now since we began. I think it was 2015. John, correct me. And I just wanted to, I guess, share with you of particular interest of this project. It's a little bit unique in that we are balancing so many different competing needs. We have the power station here, the water supply downstream, and we have the salmon and trout run who are trying to reach the upstream. And in our experience, we've found that to try to balance those, it takes a little bit of special care and design. We can't just remove the dam and assume everything will be fine. So at this hydropower station behind me, we have what's called a tail race, where the water from Quabbin exits and discharges downstream. And with the dam gone, the tail race will provide a lot of highly cold oxygenated water that's going to look really appealing to a trout or a salmon to try to go upstream to. But when they do that, as we can see, and you can look afterwards, when we're done here today, you can see the trout settling in this basin right here, kind of stuck. They like the water, but they're not really sure where to go. So we really want to encourage them to go upstream once the dam is removed. So to do that, we designed what's called a fish deterrent structure. And so we went through a number of design iterations. We considered things that are more traditional, like low head weirs or even some kind of barricade or fence in the water to keep the fish from going up into the tail race. But those have challenges. They affect the quality or the efficiency of the power supply. They collect debris. They're not really attractive. So we came up with a different solution, and I'm happy to share after this meeting with anyone who's interested. But we designed this deterrent structure that is going to be a series of well-placed and very intentionally placed boulders that will direct the water into vortices and turbulence that will dissuade the fish from passing through that area, with a connected swale that will bring them back into the main thread of the channel once they've reached that sort of blocked area. It won't dissuade them from coming back through if the very tenacious ones do make it through. They will have a good exit strategy, but most of the fish we think should get the message, and we think that's a pretty important feature of this project, and we really are looking forward to seeing that successful. Through this and other design choices, such as the downstream fishing platform that's going to be installed with the recreational trails to support recreation of the site, we have a really nice riffle pool geomorphology that mimics the natural channel upstream of the former dam. We're looking ahead. With bioengineered banks to sit with willows and natural plantings to sort of sustain those the stability of those banks, creating habitat diversity, and we're actually leaving the two dam abutments in place to sort of preserve the natural history of the site. We know the dam's been here since 1905. It's aesthetically a beautiful dam, so that will be a nice indicator of where the dam used to be. And we'll have some nice imagery that can share with the future generations what that would have looked like in the past. We want to thank MWRA for their support. They've been great to work with these last several years, almost decade. We want to thank DER. They've also been great to work with. And LEI for their consummate professionalism up to this point. Luciano's are the contractor selected to perform the work. And Andrew, I'll pass this on to him and his team, and he can tell you a little bit about how they'd like to implement the work.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Grosso, and I am very proud to say that I am part of Luciano Excavation and also the project managers for this project. This has been a great collaboration between SLR and the MWRA in the planning and the excellent professionalism between us to go forward on this project. And we're just very proud to be part of this. The biggest challenge will be the diversion channel, which is pretty much how we are going to divert the flow of the river or the stream. And this is something that's right up our alley. This is what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We've done plenty of dam removals before, but this one's pretty unique in itself, just to know that just the surroundings of the environment and the delicate foundation of the landscape of the area. So we're very proud to be part of the team, very proud to move forward with this. And again, can't say enough about the collaboration that we've been having already with the project team, but to keep it short and sweet, we're very proud to be here. Thank you guys very much.